Our brothers and sisters, you have a secret invitation from God. At least so far, it's going to be secret. So we're in Matthew chapter 6 in the Sermon on the Mount. When you pray, do it humbly, do it privately, even secretly, the passage says. Go into your room, shut the door, at least start with the door shut, and realize who you're talking to. That means speak with respect and reverence. Pray to God, the Father who's in secret. That is, hide ourselves in Him who sees in secret. Secret ourselves in the one who sees in secret. Secret yourself alone, at least to start, before the one who sees in secret. So hide yourself for Him and in Him. This is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 5. This is the lead up to the Lord's Prayer. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others, not by God. Truly, I say to you, they receive their reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who's in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Pray then like this, and then he goes on to the Lord's Prayer, which we don't have time for today. So we studied before that about giving, and he said, let your giving be done in secret, and don't let even your right hand know what your left hand is doing, and rely on the fact that the Father sees in secret, and He's going to be a rewarder. So our inclination should not be to stand before anyone else, not in giving and not in praying. Our inclination should be to secretly stand before God alone. So secretly we stand before the secret God, at least positionally. So the Father sees in secret. The Father is in secret in some ways. He is in some ways covered and concealed. And don't be surprised, Christian person, that God is more veiled than you might prefer. We spend, as Christians, quite a bit of time longing for Him. Psalm 42 verse 1 says it best, or most beautifully, as the deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for you, for the living God. And it kind of parallels here what we're saying about giving. We give in secret. The Father sees in secret. The Father rewards those who treasure Him in this way. Those that can secret themselves, hide themselves in Him. And not only that, hide themselves, but put their secret trust or faith in Him. So much so that you open up your wallet and are generous with money, and that's one of the markers of what's happening inside your mind and inside your heart. So with regard to praying, he says, go into your secret place and resist the temptation to go into the street or into the synagogue or into the church and pray to our God, who is more secret than we might care for. Now we see Him in nature, in sunrises, in the sweet smells of summer, and in the common graces of love and friendship and relationship. But if you ask a Christian, would you like to see more of God? Would you like to know more of God? The answer is going to be yes. So being a Christian, in a sense, is to be longing for Him more and more. So we hide in the hidden God until that day when He is not so hidden. So on one hand, to say that God is hidden is kind of heresy. So Romans 1 tells us that He's made Himself plain in the things that He has made. Verse 20, Romans 1:20, for His invisible attributes, namely His power and His divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse. People that are rebelling from Him are without excuse. So is God more hidden than you might wish? The answer is going to be yes. Is He a bit more concealed than the way maybe that we would design or preferred if we made the world? Now remember, Jesus unhides Himself at the incarnation. God explains Himself much more fully in the Word and in Jesus' life, who He is, what He is like, why He came, and then for us, how we are supposed to live. All right, so let's wrap this up here today. Let's make some conclusions. Do you love to stand on the street or in the synagogues and pretend to pray? Or that is, pray to the wrong person, pray to the audience, the horizontal audience rather than the vertical audience. So 2, who are we supposed to be praying to? Is it the revealed God who describes Himself as being a bit in secret? Now, the way forward, the way towards God who sees in secret, at least for starters, is not public. It's a reverential, respectful pursuit of the Lord. It starts soloed for sure. And clearly God desires to be pursued and met and known. And it's for the people of God to long for and seek for God. Now, as we walk before Him, there's much that He asks us to do privately, personally, secretly. So one of the big teaching points from today, or things that impress me, is first, shut the door. Do this in private. He wants us to get what's inside our head and inside our heart right. Not the attention seeking or approval of anyone or wordiness. But He also wants us to gather and talk about this collectively. So the very next paragraph, we'll start with this tomorrow, is Our Father, give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. So first of all, do you long for the one who made you and made creation? Do you desire, in secret, at least first, a God who is frequently and frustratingly sometimes secret? Do you want the God who is frustratingly secret? I hope so. So there's this tension here in this passage. First of all, do pray in secret, but then later, gather to pray. Gather on Sunday, gather at meals, gather at bedtime, gather when the sun comes up. But heart-wise, positionally, start with the door shut. So let's do this for the right reasons, the reverence and respect and honor that we have in being able to come to Him. So in this attitude, we must start alone, but we also must know that we are not alone. We're not alone before Him, and we're not alone with each other. But you are not the only one that He has saved. Remember that. So of those who He has saved, let's gather ourselves in our lifeboats and pray collectively. So there's more in the context of this passage than aloneness. It starts in secret with the door humbly and reverentially shut. But then tomorrow we're going to see the door opens and the secret ones gathering and interconnecting. Thanks for listening. Go pray.